Hi, I'm John with Detroit Go Nano, and you're tuning in to the RPR podcast.
First loans that I wrote, the guy was sending me pictures for his documents, and he was texting him to me. He ended up sending me a few pictures that nobody should have seen. He's like, "Did you get everything I sent you?" I was like, "Yeah, I got everything you sent. I did." So we could do where we could assist people with their e-signatures, so like I could see their screen, and some people didn't realize that also meant I could see all the tabs they had open on their internet browser. So they think that having that new window open, that I can't see everything that's right here. And I'm like, I see every detailed search that you have done.
I really want to know what details.
It was not, it was not uncommon to see something like that, yeah.
I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Real People in Real Estate podcast, where we talk about the real shit and not about real estate. I'm one of your hosts, Brooke Jones, aka the Millennial Agent.
What's up, guys? It's your girl, Tyra Nicole.
And hey, everybody. I am Nicole Pay, and today we have Senior Lending Manager, Father, Husband, and I want to say this, but I don't want to mess it up. So you were Olympic?
No, not Olympic.
Semi-Olympic.
I played on a traveling junior Olympic volleyball team.
Travel Junior Olympic
They called it Junior Olympics. It was a club team that we
Junior.
played against all the other states in the country.
That's pretty
Like
awesome.
the top teams
Okay,
in the
Mr.
states.
Scotty D, Scotty Dunks, Scotty Duncan.
Scotty D.
Scott Duncan.
Welcome
Yes.
to the podcast.
Welcome. I had to get all the nicknames in. Like I was trying to practice them. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you.
So you are part of a mortgage center.
I am.
And so we just had David Thomas on.
We did. DT.
DT.
DT was
Yeah.
on with us. And so what is your affiliation with Mortgage Center?
Oh, well, I've been there now, what is today, the 22nd? Just over 5 years now I've been affiliated with Mortgage Center. So it's been a fun, wild ride. Blinked and it's been 5 years. Affiliate, I actually fell into Mortgage Center by accident. Didn't know they were a thing when I got the job.
That's usually how it goes in this industry.
Yeah, tell us how you got started with it.
With Mortgage Center?
Yeah.
Or
So-
mortgage in period. Like,
Yeah.
So mortgages in general started at Rocket, Quicken, like most
did you
of
guys
us.
know each other? Did you know each other then?
I knew Scott.
Yeah,
You knew?
I think we were in the same safe
We were
class.
around each other.
Right
So
around
all
the
of you
same.
guys worked at Rocket?
Yeah.
Like 100% of the bankers at our company came from Rocket.
Rocket.
They left for whatever reason, and
Yeah.
they wanted something like where we are. But yeah, so mortgages, I started at Quicken. Actually left Bank of America, didn't do mortgages there. I was just a regular banker, banker, business accounts, that stuff. Didn't like that world. Left, quit there, and was going to go try to find some outdoor field line of work like I used to do in Arizona. And was out for someone's birthday party, bumped into somebody at a bar, and they were like, "Hey, you used to work at Rocket." I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Have you heard of Mortgage Center?" I was like, "I absolutely have not. Never heard of that company." And they're like, "Well, look, give it a try." So they gave me his card. A couple of days later, I emailed them. I was like, "You know what? Shoot, I wouldn't mind a paycheck." So emailed them, went back and forth, went in, interviewed, and was like, "You know what? I'm just going to do this." And the interim was on at the start. I was like, "I don't know if I'm fully dedicated to mortgages." But once I started at Mortgage Center, I was like, all right, like no dig on Quicken. I learned a lot there. It was great experience. But once I experienced Mortgage Center, I was like, all right, if mortgages can be like this, I'm happy to stay at a place like this. It was,
What's the
That's why.
difference at Mortgage Center from Rocket?
the main thing that you're going to hear from everybody you talk to is the work-life balance. Was I wasn't working, like when I was at Rocket, I was on a specialized team for a little bit, and I left my house at like 6:30 in the morning. And I had my daughter was like 1.5, 2, same things as DTs at the time, and I wasn't getting home until 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. So I was like, I got no time with her. So after a little while, I was like, yeah, I get it. Paychecks are nice, but my daughter's growing up without me there, and I was like, I can't. So that's the main difference you'll hear is just, it was really weird when I first started at Mortgage Center, and it was like 4:30, and my boss was like, "Hey man, your work's done. You can go home." I was like, "You're baiting me into get fired or something." Here. I was like, "I don't trust you." And he's like, "No, really, go home." I was like, "Okay, all right." I was like, "I like this." Yeah,
That's pretty awesome. So you have a daughter,
I do.
and she's how old now?
8.
She's 8 now.
Yes.
So she was pretty young when you started in the mortgage industry.
Yeah.
So
1.5, 2-ish.
So what was life like leading up to that? Like, where did you go to school? Where are you from?
I'm from Arizona. I'm not from
I
here.
love Arizona.
Oh, wow.
Arizona's
Okay.
beautiful. Love it. Miss it.
Where's your
What
Arizona?
part? Yeah, what part?
Mostly Gilbert, Arizona part. I don't know if you're all from it. They say the Valley. Like the Valley is like
your
Phoenix,
first job?
Chandler, Tempe, Scottsdale. Like most people that don't live in Arizona, Scottsdale is the main thing they hear of.
Yeah.
Mostly Gilbert. Grew up there my entire life. That's where I met my wife. She's actually from here, which is why we're here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So she went to Arizona for what?
Her and her mom moved out there because they wanted to get a change from what was going on in Michigan. They're like, we want to try something else. And my wife's grandma lived in Arizona at the time, so they moved out there. Met her when I was working. I was a server at Buffalo Wild Wings at that time.
B-dubs.
Yeah, and kind of the same things. Some of the, like DT was saying, behind the scenes, like food at B-dubs.
Oh, I've heard some B-dub stories.
Kind of questionable.
I don't think
Go ahead and ask your question.
I don't think I'll
But you know what?
ever.
B-dubs has gone down the drain.
So bad.
Their chicken is terrible.
Horrible.
And they're crazy expensive, and it's not that great.
No,
but their
I
sauce is
Okay.
made with
Three
habanero.
times.
Your best wing. What's your wing spot to go to? I don't eat chicken anymore, but when I was eating chicken,
Well, you don't eat chicken anymore either. I'm the only one here who
I
eats
don't
chicken.
eat chicken. We don't eat chicken around here.
Yeah, I totally do.
What's your
Well, they do.
spot?
They still eat chicken.
We still do. So it would have to be. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank.
Franchise though.
Oh, it has to be franchise.
Yeah, it's gotta be a franchise.
Oh, because you already know I was gonna say.
Yeah, the place down here.
Yeah.
Detroit Wing Co. Who said that?
No. Rob, what's the
Detroit
place
Wing
we
Co.
always
What's
go
the
to?
place?
Sweetwater.
Sweetwater.
Wing
So
Stop is
Sweetwater, like would
awful.
be.
Wing Snob.
Oh, Snob. I heard.
Wing Snob.
I heard of that.
That's fire.
Yeah. Sweetwater is a franchise, though.
Sweetwater
It's
is
not
a friend.
franchise.
It's not. So that
Yeah,
would be
it's not.
hard.
Sweetwater
If you're
was
from
probably
Detroit,
the
like
best.
Sweetwater is like,
Yeah.
especially if you're downtown hanging out and then you go to Sweetwater's after
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
fire. But I would say Wingstop would be the next.
So
Wingstop
what
is
is the
awful.
Buffalo
Really?
Wings craziest wild story that you have for us?
Because listen,
So,
I don't
okay.
play about my wings, so I can only imagine.
Well, no, I mean it depends. Do you want to hear like the craziest thing that our interaction with the customer?
Whatever's
or
the
stuff?
craziest, wildest.
What is
I
the
mean,
first thing that
so
comes to
there's
your
a
head?
couple. We had one that we had just a cook, like one of the cooks behind the back of the house. We called him. He was a character that, busy night. We had wings that were frozen. We needed more, so I wouldn't say he technically like thawed and defrosted them the correct way. So they went from frozen wings to fried wings in like 12 minutes.
Ooh.
They're
which-
probably raw.
You
I
don't have
mean-
to say the location.
He already did it with Arizona.
Oh, there's a lot. I mean,
Wait, time out. Were they
Wait.
raw in the middle?
So
I wasn't the cook. I was just serving them. I didn't like.
But you didn't have people complain?
No, I mean, not at the time. Food poisoning takes a little bit to kick in. So
Yeah, people don't really look at
that's
their
one
chicken
of
wing. They
those
just eat
stories,
it.
yeah, where people
Oh,
someone got
my
food
gosh.
poisoning later.
we don't know if they did. Nobody called and complained that I know of. But
Well, they were frozen and then they just
That's a
threw
good thing
them
we
in
don't eat
there.
at B-dubs anymore. No offense, B-dubs.
B-dubs wings are like this big, and it's all bread, and there's
Yeah.
no sauce on it.
their sauce of mango habanero is the best sauce, though.
Yeah.
I'm an
It is
Asian thing
incredible.
girl.
Agreed.
And garlic parm. Like
Garlic parm's
Asian
pretty
zing
good.
and garlic parm are my jam.
Yeah.
So we just buy
Asian
the
zing.
sauces at home now. Like the sauces in the
I do
store,
too.
and my husband just whips them up at home because
Kroger
I don't
has
want to
them.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
Get the sauces and
Yeah,
Kroger and
I don't
make
want to
them
go
myself.
spend them.
yeah.
Oh, they're so expensive. So expensive.
All right, what'd you do after B-dubs?
So trying to think of the order of all my jobs. It was construction before B-dubs. B-dubs,
Oh.
then I went to. That's when I started getting into banking after B-dubs.
After B-dubs.
Started
Okay.
at credit union and then ended up at Bank of America. I was a server and a bartender for a while. That's how I put myself through college.
Who didn't?
Yeah.
Just saying.
I was work 2 jobs, go to college. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Normal schedule. But yeah, serving, bartending, and then transition into the finance world.
What did you go to college for?
What didn't I go to college for? Honestly, I started taking classes at first for law. I was going to, I was taking some law classes, and then the one that I wrote the class is the Legal Ethical Issues in Business Ethics. took that class and realized there's no chance I could do this for the rest of my life.
Just the title alone. would be
I mean,
like-
the book, most college books are decent length. When I went and bought this book, it was like this thick. And in between the classes, the guy's like, all right, guys, just read one chapter. And I'm like, one chapter is 97 pages. So, that changed. And then I ended up going for like health and wellness. Got about to where I was going to graduate with that and decided, I don't want to do this for a job. It's more of a hobby. So then changed my degree again. And then I ended up to graduate with a business administration degree because I was like, I got to graduate with something. Like my dad's like, I'm going to be an 18-year college student. And I was like, all right,
There's nothing wrong with that.
you did go to business
for my BA. I went to school
There's
to be a
nothing wrong
teacher,
with it, but-
ended up in BA. It's okay.
I just had to make up my
It's
mind
okay.
finally. So yeah, and finally graduated with the business administration, bachelor's of business administration degree. And what I do now has nothing to do with that degree. But
As
yeah.
usual.
I'm doing
Usually.
podcasts.
Yeah. Hey.
It's not like real estate with my BA. That's what I'm doing with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so growing up in Arizona, I have to ask this question because I went out to Arizona with my friend a few years ago. Actually, it was during COVID. And she wanted to hike Camelback Mountain.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never hiked before, ever. She must have
That's
put
a
me
mountain
on
she
the
picked.
hardest route on
Echo
Camelback. Because I'm not kidding, I literally was scaling the mountain,
Yeah.
and I thought if my hands slip right now, everybody behind me is gonna see me fall about 5 feet down. I'm gonna land on this little kid. Mind you, 2-year-olds are climbing this mountain like it's nothing.
There's two spots. So on that specific trail, if I remember correctly, it's Echo Canyon Trail, but there's two spots where they actually came in and installed handrails because it was so
Yes.
steep
Yeah.
that they installed metal handrails to actually help you get up and down.
There was a
that
rope.
part of the hike. Yeah.
And my dumb butt was like, I don't need the rope. I'm gonna go the easy route. And I just jumped and tried scaling the mountain. I didn't even have gripped shoes. I was wearing like Nikes that had no grip at the bottom
No.
of them.
You were not prepared for that hike.
A first-time hikers, Echo Canyon Trail's rough. It's not a really long trail, but it's like this steep. And what time of year did you go?
So it was Christmas time. They had
Okay.
the Christmas tree at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, all right. At least you didn't go. Living there, I'd run into people that had never hiked before, and they're like, "Oh, it's July. It's 118 degrees. I've never hiked before. I'm going to do this." I'm like, "All right, cool. You're going to be on the news getting rescued by a helicopter in an hour and a
Yeah.
half, so that's cool."
Wow.
But yeah, at least
15
you did
minutes of
December.
fame you wanted. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it was-
crazy.
we didn't make it to the top. I'm actually really afraid of heights, so I was
You
like,
are?
Audrey, I'm like, Audrey, we're I'm not making it any further. She was scaring the crap out of me because she wanted to take pictures like right at the edge of the mountain, and I'm like, no.
No.
That is one thing I learned about you. I've known you all these years and didn't know you were scared of heights.
You didn't?
I did not.
Oh yeah.
I learned that like,
Definitely
ooh,
scared of
put me
heights.
on the edge of a cliff and I'm all there.
Oh
Really?
I love it.
No.
Yeah.
I've gone bungee jumping. Like I love it all.
Have you
Like
been skydiving?
so, skydiving has not been. My husband is scared of heights.
Oh,
so
it's
if
like, you
I
gotta
do
do
it,
that.
it's going to be by myself. But I
All right.
did do.
So you want to do it?
Of course, yeah.
Oh,
I did
no.
bungee
It's so
jumping.
much fun.
No thanks.
I did twice. I did bungee jumping off a bridge and bungee jumping off a platform.
I've never bungee jumped, but skydiving was
I couldn't
well
imagine.
worth a hype. It was awesome.
Can't wait.
You went skydiving.
I did.
Where
My
at?
mom took me for my 18th birthday.
Oh, best mom ever.
In
Arizona?
Cottonwood, Arizona. Yeah, it was tandem. Obviously, I wasn't trained, so the guy jumped with me on my back.
Yeah.
But it was just like the moment you get out, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to flip?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want
Yeah.
to flip." So he's like, "All right, hang on," and then you just go.
Flip.
Oh, I love it.
What?
So you get
Like,
out.
do
and
you do flips as
yeah,
you're
you
like
straight-
flying down?
Yeah, because you get
Oh,
out.
yes?
So when you're getting out of the plane, you stand on this tiny little platform, and like I got the guy on my back, and he's like, "All right, you ready?" And like, "Let's go." And then after you get out, you clear the plane. You go.
So
for
you
a
can
little
hear
bit.
him?
Oh yeah, he's. I mean, the
attached?
guy's he's like attached to your back. Like it's like I got a little like monkey
a
on my back.
backpack?
Like it's
Little-
like he's a little backpack right there. Like he's like draped over me, but he's like the instructor. So
Yeah.
we get out, and as we're falling, that's when he asks. He's like, "Do you want to flip?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's flip." So you feel him lean forward, and then he pulls back, and then you immediately just start going. Yeah, it's so awesome.
Guys,
I love
I've
it.
seen this story on TikTok. Apparently, there's a parachute and there's an emergency parachute.
Yeah.
When you get to a certain like height, there was a certain time where they went to go pull the emergency parachute. The other parachute went off at the same time. It got tangled. I'm not kidding. The skydiver and the instructor fell to the ground without a parachute. and she was
but
paralyzed.
you can get in a car accident just as easily as you
But
can
I'm not
fall.
trying to jump out and risk my life.
Yeah, but the likelihood of that happening, like you could literally walk across the street and get hit by somebody, or be in your car on a daily.
But what is it about it? Is it the thrill?
It
Do
is.
you
It's a
guys
thrill.
like that adrenaline
I
Yes,
love.
it's the thrill of the
I love
feeling, it's
any.
all.
Do you guys like
like the
adrenaline? Do you like
adrenaline
adrenaline
rush.
rushes?
Adrenaline junkie.
I like
don't
my
like
kids
the
get mad at me because I will
adrenaline rush
purposely hit the gas pedal over railroad tracks.
You're gonna mess your alignment up.
I do, and
That's what
my daughter's like, "Mom," and I'm like, "Oh, did you feel that? Like that? Your stomach drop?"
So you like roller coasters?
I do. I have like
Yeah.
the best memory of my mom. We had an Impala, the old school Impalas, and my mom lived in Ohio, and they like hilly Ohio, like super hilly. And she used to hit the gas pedal, and there was one time we went airborne over a hill, and the whole Impala like plummeted to the ground, sparks flying, and then she was like, "Okay, well, don't tell your father. We're gonna keep going." It was like
You
the
were
best story
loving it.
ever. I was loving it, and my kids are like, "Why did you do that?" But I love it. I absolutely love it.
But we did used to like going over train tracks.
It's fun.
Remember that?
She said, "You remember that?"
Me and my
Did you
brother,
like
we used
it?
to like when we used to go over the train tracks.
So how do you not like the adrenaline rush? Then?
See?
But train tracks and jumping off of air.
It's the same adrenaline. My daughter loves to
Right.
tracks too. I get it.
There's definitely like
Train tracks just messes up your car alignment. It
No,
doesn't-
like when
They
we
got
were
that
little,
release.
we used to just like it was just like so fun. Now I don't get it, but when we
Do you
were
like
little,
roller
yeah.
coasters?
I used to when I was little, but
Oh,
now
I love
I
roller
won't do
coasters.
it. Yeah.
Nobody in even my husband will not go on a roller
I
coaster.
tried to
with
do it when I was like about 30 something.
Yeah.
you don't like roller coasters no more?
No, I did it when I was like 30 something, and I was so nervous, like that the seatbelt was gonna come.
Oh,
a
see,
little-
now you're thinking. Now you're adult thinking. You can't
Yeah.
adult think when you
I got off of that thing.
go. Does
like,
your
I can't
daughter
do
have
this
the
no more.
adrenaline like rush
She
like
loves
you do?
it. Like if I hit a bump,
love
she's
it.
like, "When's the next bump? Where's the
Oh.
next bump in the car?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"All right, we'll
See,
find one."
I need.
can't
I
do
don't know
it
what
no
I need
more.
to do to my kids. I don't know what roller coaster I took my 11-year-old on, and she's like, "Don't ever do
Cedar
that
Point.
again." At Cedar Point, she's like, "Don't
Yeah.
ever do that again." And I'm like, it's like the most minimal roller coaster.
So you guys moved from Arizona to Michigan.
Yes.
What was that like?
Oh, it was a lot.
Well, why'd you come back?
My
Like-
wife's originally from
Most
here.
importantly.
Friends and family are here.
Okay.
She wanted to move back, so I was like, "All right, I'm in. Let's go."
Okay.
She moved out here before I did. With my current job, I could have moved right at that time. So I was in Arizona for a couple weeks when she came out here with our almost newborn baby at the time. And then she flew out here, and then I drove U-Haul towing the car out here. It was fun. I mean.
By yourself.
No, one of my friends drove
Okay,
with
I
me.
was like,
He was
that's a
supposed to
long drive.
co-pilot, but he slept 90% of the way.
That's a long
so,
drive.
well, yeah, it's like, 2,200 miles. I've done it twice now because now both my sisters and my mom live in Michigan. So they've all moved out here.
So
yeah,
how
I've done
long
it
have
a
you
few
been
times.
here? Been back? Or not
I've
back,
been
but how long have you been?
here 8 years.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah, because
not
we
that
moved
long.
here. It was before my daughter turned 1 when I got here. So, a little over 7 years, yeah.
It's so
Okay.
funny to me because how many Michiganders are like, I'm out, I'm going. I would love to go to Arizona. I would love to leave the state of Michigan. My kids are getting too old. I can't do that. But it's so funny how many people actually come back.
I hear it all the
Like-
time. They wanted to come back, but I always hear it. They're like, "Why would you leave a sunny state to come here?" And I was
Yeah.
like, well,
Especially Arizona. It's gorgeous.
it can be. But
Can be.
It'd be hot.
hey, my wife wanted to do it, and I was like, well, at the time we weren't married, but she wanted to move, so we moved.
So what do you think
Yeah.
of Michigan?
Honestly, I like it. I do. I like it. The people here, it's way different with the people here than in Arizona. In Arizona, I felt like people were a little more standoffish in a way. Where
Really?
here,
I
yeah.
always felt like Michigan people are assholes.
Yeah.
no,
I'm just
no.
saying. I mean, let's
I mean,
be real.
well, you're gonna run into assholes everywhere, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Here, it's just been relatively easy to get along with people.
Okay.
It's
That's different.
fun. A lot of rain. The first time it rained for like 2 days here nonstop, and the sun didn't come out, I was like, "Do we need to call the Coast Guard?" Because like in Arizona, if it rains for more than 20 minutes, it's like holy crap. So when it rained for like 2 days, I was like, "Guys, we're in trouble." But,
Yeah.
No, just your basement might be in trouble.
You're-
but
yeah.
that's
It
what
I
it
was
is.
was.
Yeah.
Basements. Not a lot of people have basements in Arizona, so
Yeah.
that's not. And even,
That's kind of like Florida. I don't think
two
anyone has
stories aren't
basements in
yeah,
Florida.
Same thing with 2 stories in Arizona because the hot air, whatever, it's harder to cool down those. So a lot of people in Arizona like just like ranch
Oh, I
style
never
single
thought
story
about that.
houses. So the houses here are way different too. The buildings here are gorgeous. Like in Arizona, it's a lot of cookie cutter. Like the neighborhoods are like the same 4 houses.
Okay.
Wisteria Lane.
Yeah, like whereas here, it's the different buildings. Architecture is just gorgeous. I love looking at all the old buildings here and seeing the old stuff here.
I will say Michigan doesn't get the credit it deserves. Like if you go to the west side of the state, it's absolutely gorgeous. If you go up north, I don't think we get enough credit for how gorgeous our state actually is. Yeah, like it's so many times where as Michiganders we're like, let's get out of here, let's go to another country, let's go to another state. But if you like Grand Haven and South Haven and Traverse City's
beautiful,
stunning. Torch Lake, like Torch Lake is you can't beat Torch Lake. Petoskey.
I haven't been there. I'm still learning. I know people still do the mitten, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. And they're like, oh, it's right here.
Really? You've been here 8 years and you don't know, like...
I know where I work. I know where I live.
Like, you need to work on it. You don't know the mitten either? Like, I can literally tell you everything on the hand. Even up north, like Mackinac Island's gorgeous.
The UP?
The UP. Yeah,
I haven't been to those yet.
Do you ski?
No.
Snowboard. Ooh,
snowboarding once.
You need to get to know
I'm good.
us.
Yeah. No, you're good. Snowboarding is
really?
So
do you guys
fun.
ski or snowboard?
I do, yeah.
No.
I would say
I do not.
My husband, well, we'll try it. He said he'll try it. I'm a
Okay, look.
You said most.
No. We're going to take a snowboarding trip.
We are. No, because Will said he would try to snowboard.
Come on, Tyra.
You wouldn't do it either?
It wouldn't work for me.
Well, you're a little different. You had a hip replacement.
It wouldn't work.
But skiing it, there are so many gorgeous mountains in Michigan.
I would love to know how to do that, but
it's
I just
not
don't.
hard. It's really not hard.
It is hard.
Okay, snowboarding is difficult. I will say that, and I will tell anybody. So I learned how to ski and snowboard in Aspen. So skiing is like skating, but snowboard.
What is that called?
No, because you're stuck to it. You're stuck. Yeah. Where skiing, you can maneuver. So I would say if you're going to learn boarding first, and then go to skiing, because
you learn the hard task first.
You learn the harder task first. So skiing is like roller skating.
It was horrible.
It's literally like roller skating.
Snow pants, so my buddy let me borrow his snow pants, and he's not he's a little smaller than I am. So
you had medium.
My friend, he's like a snowboarding instructor. Was like, we're gonna go down this hill, and there was a hard hill. I kept falling because I was like,
the Black Diamonds.
Yeah, if we're going more than like 6 miles an hour, I panicked, and I was like, and I didn't know how to stop, so I would just fall.
We used to ski in between each other's legs. Like our friends. So I learned how to ski in high school, and our friends that you would like spread your legs and you could ski if you laid down on your skis, and we had a whole like line of people that would keep skiing in between.
You really have to be like a daredevil to learn how to snowboard, because it's like you first off you take a ski lift to get to the top of the hill, right? And then there's no other way to get down than to go down.
Well, and you're scared of heights. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
you're scared of heights and you're up in ski lifts?
The ski lift does kind of freak me out. No, I didn't grow up. I learned snowboarding like 2 years ago.
But you're scared of heights. Ski lifts are high.
I know, they scare me, trust me. I just talk all the whole way up. But then you go down, you can't see like what's over, like what you're getting yourself into. So you just gotta go for it.
And that blows my mind. You being a daredevil, like skydiving, like skiing is such a thrill and it's such an adrenaline.
Skiing, it's just snowboarding. I just really truly didn't enjoy it.
I like skiing better. I will say that. But
when you're tall, the fall is even harder.
It's harder. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will say
I don't know nothing about it.
Okay, so we're doing an Iconic Circle RPR podcast to Boyne Mountain.
Ski trip.
We are doing a ski trip. You guys can be invited. You are welcome. I'm dead serious. It's so much fun. Now. I promise you. Especially when you get a couple like shots in you. It's so much fun.
You have to drink before you go on the slope.
Before the slope.
I'll do the drinks, but I don't know about
because they purposely have bars at the bottom of the slopes for when you
I'll just be at the bottom waiting for you guys.
I'll be there too. That's fine.
It's so much fun. That's so funny. So,
Scott, did we get your craziest story in mortgage?
I know, yeah.
In mortgage.
I don't know
if I really have any super crazy stories.
Oh, there's gotta be. With Rocket, I know. When you guys make calls.
Yeah, you guys all work for Rocket, and I feel like you're being so like...
Well, I mean, it wasn't really Rocket. I had one of the first loans that I wrote, the guy was sending me pictures for his documents, and he was texting him to me, like, to my computer, and I never gave out my cell phone number. I recommend, don't text him, man. Like, it's not secure for one. I don't know what you got on there. he ended up sending me a few pictures that nobody should have seen, let alone a mortgage banker that you've never seen.
Ooh.
So I just had to act like they didn't come through. And he's like, "Did you get everything I sent?" She was like, "Yeah, I got everything you sent. I did.
I got everything all right."
And
Were they like hidden photos that should have stayed in the hidden file, like iPhone hidden folder?
So one of them was a picture that'd be at home in like an anatomy class, and then the other one was a picture of like an ointment that you use for when you have uncomfortable things going on. And the guy just sent them nonchalant, and I told my lending manager, I was like, "What do I do with these besides delete them?" And he was like, "Well, don't delete them yet because I got to show a few people what you got."
Do you know how many wild, crazy photos you get in mortgage?
That's like a real thing?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
How do you not check your
Because you ask them, like,
attachments?
send documents of your income, and they'll literally take a picture laid up on the couch with their feet up, and you can see their toes in the background because they're taking a picture like this.
All bad.
Oh.
You get a lot at Rocket too, so
my
we could do
gosh.
where we could assist people with their e-signatures. So like I could see their screen, and some people didn't realize that also meant I could see all the tabs they had open on their internet browsers. And there's quite a few times where you see it and you're like, I'm not going to say anything, but it's like
Do they have porn up?
Oh God,
For sure.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh, let me watch porn. Let me email my mortgage
That was
lender.
not uncommon to see. You especially get it with older people that they just didn't know to close tabs, and so they think that having that new window open that I can't see everything that's right here, and I'm like, I see every detailed search that you have done.
I really want to know what details.
It was not. I mean, it was not uncommon to see something like that. Yeah.
You
Their
guys see it too?
Google search
Wild,
history.
Oh yeah, because they have all the tabs open, and I'm like, for one, that's not incognito. Two, you're not hiding it at all. I can see everything right, like the video that's right behind the tab that we're working on. I see the title of it.
Did you ever be like, sir, can you tell me how the blah blah blah
No,
triple X
you,
blah blah blah?
You're
love
very
just
nearsighted when that happens. Yeah.
Go back to that tab.
I don't think I hit the right tab. Can you? I'm like blown away.
Yeah.
Never thought about that.
I wouldn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
Yeah.
A mess.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've had some experience. All right. So we're gonna.
What about with real producers?
Yeah. We're going to switch from the open tabs to straight to real producers.
No, Real Producers has been fun. I will say, so at first, when we were told what it was, the first thing they're like, oh, it's a magazine. I was like, oh, okay, it's a magazine. But then when you look into it and you see what they actually do, it's not just, like a magazine's one part of it. And Andrew and I have been to a few events. DT's been to a few. It's fun. Like it's a lot of fun. You're meeting with, sometimes you're meeting with young professionals, people that are just breaking into the industry. You're meeting with people that are well established, that are dominating the industry, and you get to pick their brains. You get tips and tricks from them. You get to share tips and tricks with them. It's been a lot of fun being able to do the Real Producers. Learned a lot in a short amount of time doing it when you go to these meetings and gatherings and get-togethers. But it's been great. Tara that runs it, she's awesome. It's been, was it Maggie? Was that her name? The other lady that you were saying, the blonde.
Her name was.
It's gonna bother me that I can't remember it now.
It's escaping me.
Michelle?
Oh man.
No, but she was at one of the events as like a host, and it was
She
like
deserves
her
it.
energy was just incredible. But no, it's been a lot of fun. It's definitely not what we were expecting getting into it. Again, when you hear magazine, but it's definitely not just a magazine. It's been a wonderful experience so far.
That's awesome. So I'm going to hit you with the last question.
All right.
And Brooke, get your question prepared because you're next for the next one. What would you tell your younger self?
Ooh, I would say try to stay consistent is what I would say. Is I think consistency is a overlooked quality that people sometimes think consistency is boring, but I think if you do something consistently, then I'm trying to think. I'm going to mess up the quote, but it was a Bruce Lee quote that I love that says, I don't fear the man that practiced 10,000 kicks one time. I fear the man that practices one kick 10,000 times.
Okay.
So I would just say stay consistent and persistent is something I would tell my younger self.
I love that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Okay. What is one thing that you wish everybody knew about mortgages?
Oof. Down payment and closing costs are not the same thing.
There you go.
All the time. We get people that are like, I have $8,000 for, down payment. I'm like, cool. Is that for a closing cost too? They're like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what you're saying. So
they don't even know how to read.
No. So I think that is something I wish everybody knew, that when you're buying a home, there's there's almost always more to it than just the down payment.
Yeah.
That's great. That's good to know.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning back into the RPR podcast. We got Andrew next.
Yes, Andrew's next.
So, we'll see you guys very soon. Peace.
Thanks for joining.
Peace. Oh, I gotta take these off.
You want to hit that red button, Tyra?
I gotta take it off for a minute.
Yeah.